Council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they were short and unboring? This is why I have invented the 5 Make It 10-minute meeting. Ashland City Council meeting of May 5th. The mayor starts out with the proclamation. Whereas, it's National Historic Preservation Month. So where historic buildings are important, so May 17th to 23rd is the week. So go look at old shit. And then this one says, put the consent agenda item. We'll pull that for later. And they did that. And then the Jackson County SART lady, the Sexual Assault Response Team presentation. And she said, we do prevention in the schools, but mostly we do free hospital response to assaults. And then we connect them to other victims to other services and support. If they want to press charges, we assist with that. And we talk to bars to look out for perverts and stuff. And we need more housing for people. It makes it less likely for them to be assaulted, and that makes people safer. And these two were like, these two go like, yeah, can we make all our bars do training for their employees for this kind of training stuff? That'd be a good thing for the city. And then the mayor goes, yeah, let's have staff figure out how that would work. And then city attorney Johan Piatella says, let's make sure that attaches to the business license, not the liquor license, because that makes it easier for the city to do. There you go. And then public forum. Oh man. So the city sycophant, she says, any counselors posting on social media are stupid jerk faces. I alone am the jerk face allowed to post on social media. And then the 5G guy says, Ashland is a city of liars, and I have been right forever. And then a handbag lady said, the city manager, Sabrina Cotta, has been violating laws, rules, and council directives. It's insubordination, and you should put her on leave. Agreed. And then Beard Guy said glyphosate, the city still uses it, and the city needs to address that. And a scarf lady said, I was raped on the night lawn, and the police won't believe that those kind of things are going on over there. And T-shirt guy said, don't spray glyphosate in front of City Hall in the morning. A redhead said, don't spray tomorrow morning, please. And then the former pigtail homeless advocate said, spraying is a problem for people with disabilities and dogs. And that SART lady is great. Love her. And she said, I love you back. It was nice. And then headband lady said, spraying glyphosate has increased threefold in the last 4 years. I don't trust the city at all. And then a white beard former surgeon at Asante said, Asante, the shutdown is happening. And we've got a group ramping up to deal with that. And then a Census Tract opportunity zone. A bald guy, let's say, who cares what he looks like? Let's say this. He's in a dress shirt, and he explained that here's a federal capital gains abatement program. And so this resolution nominates a square area of Ashland, a census tract, if you will, for rich people to invest in and save themselves a bunch of money. This could get more money for housing projects in Ashland. And it's promoted by So Ready, the Southern Oregon Regional and Economic Development Institute or whatever. However, the governor has to pick our project from a lot of submissions. And this guy says, hey, how do we make sure people can actually afford to live in these things when there's a bunch of empty homes and offices in town right now, right? And then bald guy goes, oh, yeah, well, we're working on that. I was definitely working on that. So I think this money could go to the Sunstone Project and the SOU housing project for the olds that they just demoed and they're thinking to rebuild, and some other affordable housing thing off of Mountain, I think. And then this guy says, I move to approve that. Yeah, that's a good resolution. And then that was all approved. And then consent agenda, the one that was pulled before. It's a resolution to get $7 million loan to build the North Mountain Road re-road that they're doing anyway, and up to Mountain Meadows there, you know. And this one says, she goes, hey, I don't, this is paid back by the food and beverage tax, right? So is that covered before 2030 when the food and beverage sunsets? And side-eye Sabrina Cotta says, probably. And then this guy goes, hey, we've already paid this money out, right? This loan just pays us back. Is that correct? And she goes, that is correct. And then he says, I move we authorize this loan. And that's 5-1. She didn't like it and authorized. And then there was a break. Yeah, there was a break and a little 5-minute break, 10-minute break, whatever it was. And then this guy goes, hey, what's up with that spraying glyphosate around the city hall? What's that? What's the deal there? Can we do something about that? And she goes, I'm talking to Parks, and they're working on a plan for the whole city. So spraying's going to be postponed until we get a whole map and come to council and show you what's going on and stuff like that. And then the relocation of city staff to the community center. So side-eye Sabrina Cotta, city manager. This is her fault, really. We are in the community center because City Hall is a death trap, and other city buildings are being used. Also, historically, there were city staff offices in the community center. So, precedent. So, when was that? World War II, I believe. When interracial marriage was still illegal. She goes, here's your options, by the way. One, move 3 employees from the main community room over to the ComDev building next door. That's $4K, and $4,000. And then, or number 2, move more staff to the Grove building. That's more expensive. That's $16K, by the way, $16,000. Or we just rent a whole new building. It's the most expensive. It's $87,000 a year. At least I don't recommend it. It's a terrible idea, but that's there. And not having doors is a thing. It's been 6 months and we can't get doors that work. So we're just sitting around waiting and waiting and waiting on new special doors. And and this one goes, hey, this door thing sounds crazy. By the way, how much did it cost to move from City Hall to the community center initially? And this one looks files. So that's $16,000. $16,000 to move initially. And this guy goes, hey. He goes, can we fix City Hall to the point, just to the point that some staff can move in there, just get it, usable. And she goes, well, yeah, sure we can if we fix everything, remove asbestos, an all new roof, check for lead paint, exterminate the subterranean mole people, and scan for Russian listening devices planted by George Kramer, obviously. I mean, sure. We can move in there. We just fix every single thing. And then this guy goes, this is all Bloom's fault. This is all Bloom's fault. Councilor Bloom's fault. It's his fault because he had the special meeting last month. And that was the worst. And this one goes, it's also my fault. And I stand by it. And you don't just take the people's house. Yeah. Spiced up on that. Good for her. And then this guy goes, I moved to do plan number 1. We just moved those 3 employees out of the main community room. And that's the plan. And then she goes, when the doors are in, we're going to have a magical ribbon cutting. What color is a failure ribbon? I don't know. We'll find out. And then that was approved 5-1. She's still like, I want everybody out of that building. So it's a pass, 5-1. And then the 2200 homeless building ad hoc group, their final recommendations. So the ad hoc guy, we don't care what he looks like, probably this. He says, we recommend all sorts of room sizes and rules and regulations for any developer who wants to build, insure, and run homeless programs on the property. Well, we still own the property, obviously. And what organization wants to spend their money to get into business with the city of Ashland for decades? Hoo-hoo! You find me those knuckleheads. And then there's public forum, and a redhead came up, and she came back, and she goes, hey, this ad hoc guy is terrible at running this committee, and every recommendation should be fixed, and the entire ad hoc committee should be shut down. And then this guy goes, whatever, I approve and adore everything about this ad hoc committee guy and his group. And it was all approved. And then the Citizens Budget Committee, apparently, this one goes, hey, by the way, someone withdrew. There are 3 people nominated last meeting. One of them withdrew. So there's a new vote. Guess who we're voting for? And the winner was Noah Wertheiser, the ad hoc committee guy just talked. And of course, one of them One of them. One of them. So who withdrew? Why? Your business, silly citizen. And then, aid for the city of Newport to fight against an ICE detention center, which I believe they've done successfully. The mayor of Newport came in on a Zoom call on the television and said, we've spent money on attorneys to fight the ICE center and get our rescue helicopter back. I think that's actually happened. And so this guy goes, hey, did the state or the feds reimburse you any money for all of that? And of course, Newport mayor goes, oh, of course not, nothing. And this guy says, he goes, okay, could we get on some federal list for helping here? Is this gonna get us in trouble? Crybaby. And he goes, probably. Duh. And he goes, we're already a liberal city and a liberal state. We're already on a list. F them. Move to give Newport $15,000. And it was all approved. That was it. The end of the meeting. You're welcome.